Hello everybody and good evening. Chag Sameach. Thank you for having me tonight, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share with you my Limud. My name is Ron Zohar and I live in Israel, but last summer my family and I spent an amazing summer in Machane Rama in California, and there's not enough words that can describe for me and for my for the experience that my family had in Machane Rama. It was a life-changing experience for all of us, and I'm so grateful. So as I said, I live in Israel, and I'm giving you this limud here from Yokneam city, up north. And my limud is going to be hopefully different and enlightening in many ways, but I'm drawing most of my knowledge from the world of kabbalah. Okay, I grew up as a secular kid, a traditional one, Masorti. I was born in Afula, and we had faith, faith of God and fear of God in us, but I didn't know a lot. And my journey in life took me to United States actually 20 years ago, almost to the date, June 2000. And the story is long, but I'll make it short. I got to Philadelphia. It wasn't my original plan, and I spent almost 6 months in the area of Philadelphia. I worked with two nice Israelis in the mall in King of Prussia, and those two guys, they studied Kabbalah, and they told me, you need to study Kabbalah. You have to go study Kabbalah. And I didn't know nothing about Kabbalah. You grew up in Israel, so you celebrate Lag BaOmer like everybody else. You have campfires, and you know something about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, but I didn't know a lot. And as a teenager, I was very curious about life, about the creation. I was lacking the answers of what the purpose of all of that. And maybe the beginning of that journey was when I was reading a book. It calls the name is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. He's a Brazilian author. Actually, when I grew up, I learned that there's a lot of resemblance between this story and the story of the Baal Shem Tov. I think the name is The Treasure Under the Bridge. But the main thing about that book was that he was talking about the purpose in life. And I was looking for that. And to make a long story short, when I came to Philadelphia and started studying Kabbalah, I knew that I got to the place that will give me the answers that I was looking for. And I have to say, I found those answers, but they just led me to other questions and other answers, and that journey never stops. And in many ways, if I can confess, I think coming to Camp Rama in California, and for us Israelis, in many ways we're cynicals, in a way. And the word ruach, the camp ruach. In the beginning, I didn't know, I didn't understand what do you want from me? Like, what's the thing? And in many ways, I think that was part of my journey. That amazing ruach, standing on the Giv'ah in Kabbalat Shabbat, taking my shoes off, just feeling the ground, and doing Tfilat Shmona Esrei of Arvit of Shabbat with everybody. I think I can talk for hours, but I think that's that, and in many ways it's part of the journey. So what I want to share with you, I told you in the beginning, is Kabbalah. Now, what's Kabbalah in a nutshell? And everything that I'm saying, it's my understanding of Kabbalah. And I'm studying and teaching Kabbalah for almost 20 years now, but it's my own understanding. So of course you can question and you can search the answers for yourself, but I'm giving you my perspective and my understanding. So Kabbalah is, as we can say, the secret level of understanding the Torah. Okay? Kabbalah has many books. One of them that I'm going to show you is the book of creation, Sefer Yetzirah. And as you can see, it's, we that believe may say that Avraham Avinu, Abraham the patriarch, wrote that book, but it's actually a very short book written in Hebrew, not easy to understand, but even the researchers acknowledge that this is one of the ancient book of Kabbalah. Maybe the main book of Kabbalah is the Zohar, the book of splendor. We're going to read from him in a minute, but as you know, there's what we call the Pardes, okay? Pei, Reish, Dalet, Samech. It's like the 4 layers of, or levels of understanding the Torah. It's the Pshat, this is the Pei, Remez, Drash, and Sod, okay? And from that, we're going to the Zohar because we says that Kabbalah is the secret. We know the story, I think from the Talmud, about 4 rabbis. They went into the Pardes. I don't know how to say Pardes in English. Orchard, maybe, I think. And only one of them went out. It's Rabbi Akiva, that he held the secrets of the Torah, of Kabbalah. So, what is Kabbalah? It will be difficult to explain, but I'm going to try read from it's Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag. He's one of the 20th century sages, Kabbalist. He wrote actually the translation to the Zohar. We called him Baal HaSulam. You know, the Zohar is written in Aramaic, and he translated it to Hebrew. And one of the reasons is the question that he had. And one of them, and I will read it, he asked, the first question is, Ma mahutenu? What is our essence? Now, you know, it's a profound question. And if the Kabbalah teaching can give us that, maybe we need to listen. And then he's asking, the second question is, Ma tafkidenu? What is our role בשלשלת המציאות הארוכה, in this long chain of reality? Why to wake up in the morning? What did we came here to do? And the third question is actually a weird one. He says, הנה, כשאנו מסתכלים על עצמנו, when we look at ourselves, אנו מרגישים את עצמנו מקולקלים, we feel like broken. And when we're looking at the Creator, כשאנחנו מסתכלים על הפועל שיצר אותנו, the one who created us, and we are binded, אנחנו מחויבים להימצא ברום המעלות, we are binded to be like Him, right? Because how this amazing Creator can make these broken creatures? And another question he's asking, and it's a very unique language of Rabbi Ashlag, לפי שהשכל מחייב, because the mind says so. הלא הוא יתברך, this is the great Creator, that is טוב ומיטיב, is only about doing good. איך ברא מלכתחילה כל כך הרבה בריות שתתעננה ותתייסריה? How that that good creator created such poor creatures that will suffer all their life? You know, if He's almighty, He could create it as perfect. And the last question he's asking, איך אפשר, how can it be, שמהנצחי, שאין לו ראשית ואין לו תכלית, that from the internal, that has no beginning and no end, תימשכנה בריות הבות קלות ונפסדות. He will create creatures that has an end. Now, in many ways, I think not in that words, but I think that's what drove me to study Kabbalah. To look for the answers. In plain words, why to wake up in the morning? Why? Why to those parents? Why in this country, in this city? Why to this nation? To this religion, faith? Now, I want to continue just a little bit, because in the introduction for the Talmud, but the Eser Sfirot, the 10 Spheres Talmud that was written by Ha'ari, he's saying the reason why he's start teaching the Zohar to everybody. And he says, בריש מילים, in the beginning, מצאתי לי צורך גדול, I find a great need לפוצץ מחיצת הברזל, to blow this iron curtain, המצויה ומפסקת בינינו לבין חוכמת הקבלה, that is found between us and the wisdom of Kabbalah. And you know, he's asking, והנה כשאני מתחיל לדבר על לב מישהו, when I'm starting to talk with someone about that, the first question, הנה שאלתו הראשונה, למה לי לדעת? Why do I need to know the names of the angels in heaven? And האם לא אוכל לקיים, if I cannot fulfill all the Torah without knowing them? And the second question he will ask, הלא כבר קבעו חכמים, sages, early rabbis, chief rabbis already said שצריכים מתחילה למילאות קרסו בש"ס ופוסקים, that first a person need to learn the basics, Talmud, Gemara, finish that and then go, because as we know, every house has a foundations, and the foundation is the Pshat, the Remez, the basics, the Gemara. But then Kabbalists will say that it is true that every house has foundations. But before you start pouring even a millimeter of concrete, you will need to look at the blueprints. And my understanding, the blueprints is the teaching of Kabbalah and the Zohar. So in many ways, this is one of the reasons I'm in it, and I'm teaching and studying it. But I want to say that the teaching of Kabbalah has, I'm saying it vaguely, but two levels, what we called Ta'amei Torah and Sitrei Torah. The secret Sitrei Seter of the Torah, and Ta'amei. Ta'amei is flavor, but Ta'am. But Ta'amei Torah means what's the Ta'am? What's the point of the Torah? In Sitrei Torah, you can only learn, again, according to the belief, with a Kabbalist that giving it to you. B'mesira, he's giving you that knowledge from one person to another that is going all the way from Moses and up to now. And Ta'amei Torah is kind of a basic understanding of the principle of Kabbalah. Now, I didn't say, but when we're talking about the Zohar, the Book of Splendor, there's even the researchers doesn't know exactly who wrote the Zohar. There's many explanations to that. The one who believes says that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, from the 2nd century, you know the story about him running away from the Romans and hiding in the cave and studying Kabbalah in Pki'in for 13 years with his son directly from Moses. This is like the common understanding of who wrote the Zohar, but according to the belief. The researchers, the Zohar disappeared, and he was founded again in the 13th century in Girona in Spain. So one of the explanations of who wrote the Zohar is those rabbis in Girona in Spain in the 13th century. And this is a common understanding, but even that is not certain, because there are writings in the Zohar, words that was used in earlier time and in later time. So we might, and maybe this is the common understanding of who wrote the Zohar, that it's not written by one person and not in one time. It's maybe a collection of written stuff that was written and was combined together to the Zohar. But you will excuse me, I will refer the Zohar because I believe in that, and that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai wrote it. So now we're going to dive. Okay, but before we're going to dive in, our Limud today is going to deal with the story of Adam and Eve. But before I'll do that, I have to read something from the Zohar, so you'll understand why am I allowing myself to take the story, the plain story, the pshat, and do whatever I want to do with it. Now the Zohar, and I hope you can see it, this is the Zohar, and this is the translation, okay? This is the Hebrew, this is the Aramaic. Now, again, the Zohar is very unique in the way that it's a drash book, okay? He's taking only the portion of the Torah, not the whole Tanakh, and he's taking a verse and he's actually doing whatever he want to do. The Zohar is very, he's not, he doesn't have an order all the time, and he's associative, you say, I hope you say. So I'm going to begin, and I'm going to read the Hebrew, and you forgive me, I won't read the Aramaic now, and I will translate. Oy leoto adam, oy to that person, שאומר, that says, כי התורה באה לספר סיפורים בפשטות. The Torah comes to tell us simple stories. And הדיוט, layman people stories. כי אם כן, because if so, אפילו בזמן הזה, even in this time, אנו יכולים לעשות תורה מדברי הדיוט. We can take the layman words and make Torah from them. And we can make even better stories from the stories of the Torah. Come on. A snake that speaks. A donkey who can speak. A person that has a stick and can split the sea. ואם התורה באה להראות דברי העולם, and if the Torah comes to show us the things of the world, ואפילו שליטי העולם, even the ruler of this world, יש ביניהם דברים מעולים יותר. They have better stories. אם כן, נלך אחריהם ונעשה מהם תורה. Let's follow them and make Torah out of their words. And you know, when I'm teaching this, I'm telling the one who wants to hear that I'm a big fan, a huge fan of Harry Potter's books. Yeah, I confess. A huge fan. I have all the books in Hebrew and in English, and I seen all the movies. And the last summer, when we were in LA, we went to Universal Studios and we went to the theme park of Harry Potter, of course. And of course, we bought wands and everything that we could buy there. And don't make fun of me, but I think Harry Potter is a true story. And I'm not making fun and I'm not mocking the Torah, but if Moses could split the sea with his staff, with a stick, why can't I make magic with a wand? You know, it's pretty logical, no? So the Zohar is asking us not to look at the story to say, this is what it is. There's more to it. And I will continue. ועל כן סיפור הזה שבתורה היא לבושה של התורה. And now we understand that the stories of the Torah is the dressing, is the garment, is the outfit. It's the covering. מי שחושב שאותו הלבוש הוא תורה ממש, the one who thinks that the stories, that this garment, this dressing, this clothing is the actual Torah. Wait a second. And טיפח רוחו. How do you explain טיפח רוחו? Drop dead, I think. ולא יהיה לו חלק לעולם הבא, and you will not have a part in the afterlife. The one who thinks that the stories of the Torah, the simple story, is the Torah itself, drop dead. You won't have a part of the afterlife. בוא וראה. יש לבוש הנראה לכל. Come and behold. There's a dressing that everybody can see. ואלו הטיפשים, and those stupid people. כשרואים אדם לבוש יפה, when they see a person dressed nicely, שנראה הדור בלבושות, it looks like very nice, very elegant. אין מסתכלים יותר, they don't look anymore. ודנים אותו על פי לבושו הדור, and they judge him according to the way he looks from the outside. Okay? Don't judge a book by cover. כאין זהי התורה. This is like the Torah. יש לה גוף, she has a body. הוא מצוות התורה. This is the mitzvahs of the Torah. גוף זה מתלבש בלבושים. This body has outfit, dressing, clothing. And this is the story. אלה הם סיפורים של העולם הזה. Those are the story. הטיפשים שבעולם, the stupid in this world, אינם מסתכלים אלא בלבושו. Don't look only on this outfit. שהוא סיפור התורה. This is the story of the Torah. And they don't know anything else. אלו שיודעים יותר, the one who knows more, אינם מסתכלים בלבוש. Doesn't look at the outfit, at the dressing. אלא בגוף, שהוא תחת הלבוש. But they look on the body. This is it is underneath the clothing. Okay? So, and they says, לעתיד לבוא, to the days to come, עתידים להסתכל בנשמה של הנשמה. We will look at the soul, at the inner soul of the Torah. So, this is the Zohar for you. And now that we understood not to read only the story, we're going to start reading the story, but trying to understand it differently. So we know I'm taking the Chumash, the Torah, and you are invited to open it with me. Chapter we're doing Bereshit, Genesis, chapter 2, Bet, and we know, and we says in verse 8, Vayita Adonai Elohim gan be'Eden. God made Eden, made a garden in Eden. וישם שם את האדם אשר יצא, and he placed the man there. ויצמח, and we are in verse 9, ויצמח אדוני אלוהים מן האדמה כל עץ נחמד למראה וטוב למאכל. He grew all the trees that is nice to look and good to eat. It's my translation. ועץ החיים בתוך הגן ועץ הדת טוב ורע. He made the tree of life and the tree of knowledge, good and bad, or good and evil. And I'm in verse 15, ויקח אדוני אלוהים את האדם והניחהו בגן העדן לעובדיו ולשומרה. He placed the man then to keep it and to preserve it, and he commanded the man. Okay, verse 16, ויצב אדוני אלוהים על האדם לאמור, מכל עץ הגן אכול תאכל. You can eat from all the tree of all the fruit, from all the trees, for the garden you can eat. ומעץ הדעת טוב ורע לא תאכל ממנו. And that from the tree of knowledge you are forbidden to eat from. Okay? Because the day you will eat from, you will die. Okay? כי ביום אוכלך ממנו מות תומת. So, all our limud today is basically on one question. Given the option to eat from the tree of life and live forever, or to eat from the tree of knowledge and to die, what will you choose? Pause. I know it's like philosophical question, but it's actually a profound one and an interesting one, because Adam got this option. He had the option to stay in the Garden of Eden, do anything, get anything, enjoy life, heaven, paradise, right? Just don't eat from that one only tree, the tree of knowledge, but live forever. Now, do you want to live forever? Given the option, will you choose to live forever? You know, I was thinking of that question a lot. And I have to say, my answer is no. Who wants to live forever? And doing what? Sitting in the Garden of Eden, drinking mojito? And what is it, this heaven? Now again, my thoughts, my understanding, but I think Adam didn't want that. I think Adam and Eve, and in a way we all, we didn't want that. That situation, when you're doing nothing and you're receiving everything, Kabbalah we call it bread of shame, lechem bizayon. And Rabbi Ashlag is writing about it in his column Ma'amar Matan Torah, the giving of the Torah, that the person always would prefer to be on the side who is giving and not the side of the beggar. Think about it. What do you prefer? To be a beggar or to be the one who gives the money? And I think Adam and Eve was in that situation, my understanding of Kabbalah and the basics of Kabbalah. And I want you to be with me, because this is a crucial part of understanding Kabbalah. Because I'm saying the word Kabbalah, Kabbalah, Kabbalah. What is Kabbalah? What is lekabel? Lekabel is to receive, of course. And my teachers taught me that the studies of Kabbalah teach you to receive more from the light of the Creator. How to get more from your life. How do you take more out of it? So in a way, he had it all. Adam and Eve had it all. They sat in the Garden of Eden. They didn't need to sweat nothing. Whatever they wanted, it was there in the garden, in this heaven that we are all, not all, but being taught that we want to go there, and heaven on earth. But do we want to get there? We were there. And we did something, and God banished us from there. So keep that in mind, please, and let's continue. And now we're in chapter 3, Gimel, and the story is about the snake, the serpent, and he's coming to Eve, and you know the story, and he's telling her to eat from the tree of knowledge, and she said, no, we're not allowed to eat or to touch it, and if we'll do that, we will die. And the snake says, verse 4, Vayomer hanachash el haisha lo motemuton, you will not die. And I will continue in verse 5, כי יודע אלוהים כי ביום אוכלכם ממנו ונפקחו עיניכם. When you will, God knows that when you will eat from the tree of knowledge, your eyes will be opened. והייתם כאלוהים, and you will be like God. One translation that I saw says the word be divine. Knowing tov and ra, yodei tova, knowing good and bad. So wait a second, the serpent, the snake, is telling Eve that God didn't want them to eat from the tree of knowledge, because he knew that when they will eat from the tree of knowledge, they will become divine. They will be like God, ke-Elohim. Keep it in mind. And then, you know what happened? She ate, it opened her eyes, she gave to Adam, and then they understood that they're naked, and they covered themselves, and then God was walking in the Garden of Eden. He was looking for Adam and Eve, and they were hiding, and then, you know the story, God was mad at them, and then Adam blamed the woman, and the woman, Chava, blamed the snake, and then they all got punished. Punished? Question mark? The snake, of course, he took off his legs and hands, and Chava got punished to have a hard and difficult labor, בעצב תלדי בנים, and the man Adam got the punishment again to work the land hard, בזיעת אפיך תאכל לחם. And then in the end of chapter 3, there's something interesting. In verse 22, כ"ב, ויאמר אדוני אלוהים, God is saying, and האדם היה כאחד ממנו, and the man now became like one of us, knowing good and evil, לדעת טוב ורע. So God is acknowledging what the snake said, that if they will eat from the tree of knowledge, they will become divine, like God. ועתה פן ישלח ידו ולקח גם מעץ החיים ואכל וחי לעולם. And now I'm afraid that he will reach from the tree of life, the fruit from the tree of life, and he will live forever. And then God took Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden and closed the gates and put them the cherubim, the keruvim, the angels, and the sword to keep the Garden of Eden. Now we know that story, but now I want to put a spot, because we understand again the option: eat from the tree of life and live forever, eat from the tree of knowledge and die. But what we didn't know, that if you'll eat from the tree of knowledge, you will be like God, ke-Elohim, Yodei Tov Vara, divine. And I think the whole story is about that. And actually all of Kabbalah, to my understanding. Do you want to live forever in a consciousness of bread of shame? You're receiving everything. You don't need to do nothing. In the words of Rabbi Ashlag, receive to thyself alone. The desire to receive to thyself alone. Or will you choose to eat from the tree of knowledge and be like God? Now, what is be like God? What is God? What is to be like the Creator? What is to be divine? And I think this is that for me. It's a wow moment. I'm hoping you're getting this wow moment with me, because to be like the Creator, להיות כמו הבורא. What is הבורא? Is the ability to give. This is like the essence of human life. We think we always want to be in heaven, but we choose, the descendant of Adam and Eve, we choose to live that situation. Yeah, I think it was a choice. You know, we can blame the wife, but no. He was a grown-up. He chose to eat from the tree of knowledge. Eve chose to eat from the tree of knowledge. And they did it, I think, consciously, because they wanted it. And in many ways, God wanted it for us. It wasn't a punishment. Because What is בזה? את אפיך תאכל לחם. With your sweat, with your effort, you will eat your bread. It's the opposite of easy come, easy go. What do you value more? Money that you received or money that you worked hard for? Food that you cooked and other people enjoying that? Or just food that you went somewhere or whatever? Your soulmate that you worked hard to get. You send flour and chocolate, and you stand out of her windows and sing for her, and then she gave you, or he gave you her heart or his heart. What do you value more? In many ways, Adam and Eve decided to leave that heaven because they wanted to be divine. They wanted to be like the Creator. They wanted to live, they want to create by themselves, they want to make by themselves. They didn't want to have this bread of shame. And in many ways, this is the foundation of Kabbalah. How do you receive more of life? How do you receive more light? When it's easy? You know, the house, I have 4 kids. The house is full with presents that they got and forgot a week later. The opposite of things that they bought by themselves. It's all about that. And Rabbi Ashlag is telling us that this transformation, this is the tikkun. The transformation from desire to receive to thyself alone to the desire to receive for the sake of sharing. Sharing. It's a circle. It says, I don't know where, en noten ma she'en bo. You cannot give what you don't hold inside. So we are the vessel. We are, the essence is receiving, is kabbalah. But we wanted more. Adam and Eve said to God, no, stop. We wanted to be like you. We want to be divine. We want to be creators, like the Creator. We want to create by ourselves. We need to receive, but for the sake of creating, of giving. So this transformation from receiving to thyself alone, the situation in Garden of Eden, to the situation of the transformation, shinui hateva, the changing of our nature from desire to receive to thyself alone to this desire to receive for the sake of sharing. This is the essence of Kabbalah. This movement, this movement of the soul, of the neshama, of our spirit, from receiving to thyself alone to receiving for the sake of sharing. And again, we receive a lot from sharing. We know that. But it's not something bad. It's something that has to move. Energy needs to flow in a circle. And the circle is growing and growing and growing and growing. Do you feel divine? Do you feel that you can create? Because the understanding to day-to-day life of this limud is that I am divine. No, I'm not snobbish. Ooh, I'm so divine. No. I am divine, humbly divine. But I know that with this greatness, this big ratzon, big desire, I can do big things. We know that people that has no desires, what will they achieve? I want to nourish this divineness, this will, this ratzon, this kli, this vessel to do big stuff, but not just for me. Not receiving to thyself alone, for the sake of sharing, for all the other. This limud is profound because Adam and Eve told us, guys, not to you alone. They could stay in the Garden of Eden doing nothing. But they decided not to. They decided to create one of the fundamental basics of life for me, of Kabbalah. How do you transfer your nature, your selfish nature, and change it to a sharing, giving one? loving one. And not only for the one who close to you. Bigger and bigger circles. And how do you do that? It's a different limud. But I will ask you and invite you to pause and think of what I just said now, and the basic of that limud, and how it's like in our core, it's our essence, to change our nature. I'm not saying let's let go of the ego. The ego is important, but what do you do with it? Ratzon is good, but is it for yourself or for the sake of sharing? Do you take this energy and make it round and round and bigger like a spiral? Or do you keep it to yourself? I think this is the point. And now, to understand what is your tikkun in this journey, is to understand what is the things that is difficult for you to share or to give. What are the places that you're struggling with? People, issues, your nature. Because if money is easy to you to give, the light is not there. The light is found in the challenges, in the places that we need to work, in the places that we need to do the effort to go to receive, to achieve, excuse me. Think of those places that is difficult for you to handle with. And maybe sometimes you're running away from that subjects of issues. Face them. Look them straight in the eyes. Face them. And deal with them with love. Understanding that those places that is hard for you to share and to give, those are the places where the light is. And this is the way you can receive more of the light of the Creator in your life. So, I hope that this studying of Kabbalah didn't took you to bad places. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity to share this limud. I wish you Chag Shavuot Sameach, happy Chag Shavuot. And I'm wishing for you guys that you will study all night, because there is a big merit in that. According to Kabbalah, Tikkun Leil Shavuot is a very important night, because you connect day to day, and in that way overcoming death. And death, not only the physical death, but the death of like sicknesses, and the death in relationships and whatever. So come on guys, work out tonight. And again, thank you very much for this opportunity. I wish you all the best.